Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is me, Kingsley, your data buddy. Now let's talk about something that is very important, and we get to see so many data professionals actually struggle in this situation. Now you have data. Let's face it, a lot of companies still depend heavily on Excel. If your company depend heavily on Excel for the day-to-day data analysis transaction, you will agree with me that your data cannot just be sitting in one folder or the other in your local machine. So most times we have this data up there in a OneDrive or Sharepoint. Google Workspace, you can also have them in their Google Drive. This is just a standard. This is because this is to allow others to have access to the same data that you have access to. So if your company dwells on Excel and need to pull data, the best practices is to have this data all organized in a Sharepoint folder, OneDrive folder. Now in so doing, you notice that data usually comes like monthly, yearly. So some companies' data come in, like the marketing data, perhaps from Facebook, comes in like weekly. In trying to ensure you have access to all the data, you want to be able to organize this data in a kind of folder system within your Sharepoint or OneDrive. This is going to help you have access to all the data sets within your organization. Now I'm going to walk you through how to access data from your OneDrive. So imagine you have all your data in OneDrive like I have here. This is my OneDrive and these are all the data I have. Now I will recommend that you access OneDrive from your system or SharePoint. Anyone you have, just install them on your system. That will help you. If you don't have it, then you may want to use the link to work with, but I find it easier to have it in my file explorer, and it's quite better for me this way. Alright, so and here is the data I have. You can see that this data is organized in a well-structured manner. The only difference is just the number at the end, 01, 02 up to 09. And you understand that these are patient data from January up to September. Now, we want to have access to this data from our Excel workbook. So let's go in. To access this data, all I need is to go to data, get data from folder. It's just the same way you would get data from your normal folder in your local machine. That's how you get data from your OneDrive, SharePoint, or other file sharing system that you have. All right, so we want to get data from OneDrive. You can see it here. So let's move on to where our data set is. Go straight to the folder where I have it. Okay, so this is this folder. You can see it, healthcare data set. So I'll click on this and bring in my data. As I clicked on it, it came up with this window asking me to combine the data, load or transform, depending on what I want. Understand that these are different workbooks. So what I want to do is to combine the data. Let's click on this drop down. Now this drop down says combine and transform, combine and load to. So this load to is for you to specify where you want to load it in Excel. But let's go straight and do combine and transform, which is mostly what you would do as a data professional. You want to do all your analysis within Power Query and then load it in Excel. So I'll go to combine and transform. It's now telling me that it's going to get this data based on the Fed sheets. There is something important you need to understand where you can get different data from a folder. This data will need to be of the same data type, the same structure, the same number of columns. And of course, they will also need to be the same file type. Otherwise, this will not work. So please pay attention to that. The idea here is that Power Query will append one data below the other until it gets to the last data set. That's how it actually works. Now let's move in. So we're working based on the first file. Because this is an Excel file, we have the sheet system. So this is the name of the sheet I am working with. Okay, so I will click OK, and this will bring up the Power Query editor. Now we have the Power Query editor. A lot of transformation has taken place. You can see all the steps by the side. Now we can see that we've got all the data. Let's try and check it from January up to the month of September. Good. So the next thing I want to do is to get a new data. Now you can see how simple it is, because we want to have a well-structured data, and that means the subsequent data will take the same structure. So I have new data sets. we have this all our data here, January up to February in our OneDrive. Let's come in here. I want to get a new data set. So I'll move it from here. This is a new data set. This is for October. I'm going to move it into the OneDrive. All right, it's syncing and it's done syncing. Now let us go back to our data. So we are here now. We are still seeing up to September. So let's go to this button, refresh, click on it, and it has refreshed. So let's click here and you see we have October here. I didn't even need to do much. It's just to drag, drop, and then click on refresh, and we have all the data. In the same way, I can add any other month and continue in that pattern to even the next year. That is how to load a folder into Excel. The next thing we want to do is to close and load. So close and then we load it here. Everything is here, simple and clean. There is nothing to stress about, no error. So that's how simple it is, guys, to load a folder from your OneDrive, SharePoint, even Google Drive. Remember to always have them downloaded on your system. It becomes easier for you to access anytime, any day. And that is it. If you get value from this video, please remember to give this video a thumbs up, share this video to everyone that needs to know about this, that works in the capacity of a data analyst that uses Excel. Share this video with them. And if you have not subscribed, please endeavor to subscribe and join this amazing growing family. What you will get here, it's simply quality information that you definitely will use during your day-to-day job as a data professional, and you can't easily get this thing anywhere. What I give to you is what I get from experience doing my job. And to my returning subscribers, you guys are great. Thank you so much for always being there. Until I see you next time, keep analyzing.